In this demonstration, you'll learn how to add and remove columns in a dive window. NetDiver allows you to look at all the columns that are available for display in the dive window and choose the ones you want to see for that particular NetDiver session. Let's say you work in a hospital and you're analyzing data that tells you how many patients have certain types of principal diagnoses. In your dive window, you can see columns that list the diagnoses, the number of people admitted with each diagnosis, and the number of people who were discharged. Now, however, you want to see information on the average length of stay, the ALOS, for each type of diagnosis. We'll start adding this column to the dive window by double-clicking the Discharges column heading. In the dialog box now on the screen, we see an area labeled Available and one labeled Selected, each containing the names of columns. An available column is a column that NetDiver has access to, but is not currently displayed in the dive window. A selected column is a column that's currently displayed in the dive window. We want to add the ALOS column to the columns displayed in the dive window, so we'll click the ALOS heading in the Available area and move it to the Selected area. The dialog box disappears, and we can now see that the ALOS column has been added to the right of the Discharges column. Let's say we want to change the position of the column so that it's the first column in the window, immediately to the right of the list of diagnoses. To do this, we'll again double-click a column heading. It doesn't matter which heading we double-click. We could even double-click a blank heading, but let's double-click the ALOS column heading. In the Selected area, we'll click the ALOS heading, which is currently at the bottom of the list of selected columns. Next, we'll click Up twice to move the heading to the top of the list of headings. The ALOS column is now the first column to the right of the Diagnosis column. Let's say we've been working with the ALOS column for a while now and no longer want to see it in the dive window. We'll start removing it by again double-clicking a column heading. We want to move the ALOS column from the Selected area back to the Available area. NetDiver removes the ALOS column from the dive window. That column, however, is always available to us if we ever need to work with it again. We would just double-click a column heading and move the column back to the Selected area in the dialog box. Some other things to note. You can delete a column by double-clicking the column heading, clicking Edit Columns, selecting the name of the column, and then clicking Delete. Note that if you add, remove, or reposition columns in a NetDiver session and don't want to make those changes each time you work with NetDiver, you can save your changes in a marker file. The next time you open that marker file, the column changes you made will be in effect. So that's how you add, reposition, and remove columns in your view of your data. You double-click any column heading, select the name of the column that you want to add, remove, or reposition, click an arrows button to move the column heading to the relevant area, or click up or down to change the position of the column, and then click OK.